Let's begin our first visualizations on Power BI and get to know this interface in a little more detail. This is the basic interface that you will get once you open Power BI from your system. And we can look at the ribbon that we have talked about earlier as well. You can see that there is a tab of data here in which you can extract data from multiple options. And you can see there is SQL Server, Data Hub, Workbook, and plenty of other options. If you open this particular tab, you can see that there are plenty of options, Excel Workbook, other models, SQL Server, text, web, and if you click on more, you will get a dialog box with a plethora of options available. We will begin with an Excel Workbook. Some of these are free and for some you need to upgrade, but the good news is that Excel Workbook is free to use. So we can click on Excel Workbook and click Connect. Now it will open a dialog box for us to import data into the system of Power BI. So I have put a file on desktop. I will click on it. It's called food storage and I'll open it into our Power BI. So here you get the options. If there are multiple sheets, you need to select the ones that you want to use. And I will click on the sheet one. You can see here the look of the data. It's about a store, the products it has, the price at which it is selling, and the date of those prices. So I will look at the data. If it is the one I need, I will either load or transform data. So by loading data, I will load it into the system, but if I want to clean the data, I can click on transform data. So it opens a Power Query editor. We will be discussing this editor in further detail in the coming sessions, but for now you need to know that this editor helps you clean the data. So if you find any discrepancies in the data, you want to change the column name, you want to change the format, so you can do it from here. If you want, you can right click, you can remove the column, you can delete it, you can duplicate it, you can remove all the errors, change the type of data that is there. If it's date, you want to convert it into text, you can do so. If you want it to be in Boolean variables, again, it is easy to do that. So this is the area where you can actually clean all the data you have. If there are null values or empty columns, you can manage whatever you want and make it as clean as possible in this particular system. So we will be looking at it in further detail in the coming session. For now, I will close this window and move on to, yes, I need to apply the changes. I haven't made any changes yet also. So I'll apply these changes. You can click here. It's already loading. So the sheet has loaded. It has 60 rows. And when the sheet is loaded, it will be visible in this data panel over here. And you can drop it down to see what kind of data is available. These are the columns that you have. We have the sum of prices. We have date, product, and store. So these are the three views that we need to discuss now. So this tab over here is the data. You can see the data that you have. It will be loaded, and have a look that we have three stores here: Walmart, Costco, and Target. And in those three stores, we have these product list. Then we have the price at which we purchased it and the date. So if we want to see the relationships between different sheets, it will be presented here. Although we do have a single sheet here, so we can't do much. And the third and the most interesting view is this report view. In the report view, you can make the reports and visualizations using these options here. And for instance, we have a question that we want to know that which store has provided us with the best options or the best price offers. So very first would be we select store and price. So you can see that here the sum of price is visible, and it is very easy to know that Costco has provided the minimum price offers. while we have spent the most in Walmart. So we have a number of visuals to choose from here, but the one that makes most sense is this column chart. Let's build that. And here you can see the visual, which entails the same data that we have seen in the table. So it seems a little monotonous. What we can do, we can pick the store here and drag it down to the legend. And now you can see that a legend is created for this bar chart, and you can see different colors for different stores available. So this particular visual helps us decide that we need to go to Costco if we are preparing for storage of food for, let's say, any problematic situation, but it doesn't let us know the product-wise division of the prices. It doesn't give us any detail on how different products have prices at different stores. For that, we can make a new visual. I would select store and product and price. And for this table, I would like to have a clustered column chart. And here I'll just increase the size to show. Somehow it is presenting the comparison of different products along the lines, and it is not showing the product comparison. So let's see what the problem is. On x-axis, we want to see the product, and I'll take the product here. And on y-axis, we want the price, and the legend or the basis of categorization should be the store. Now you can see that happen to have a better visual, which is more comprehensible and more meaningful in nature. Let's take another example with a different data set. I'll go to the file and start a new project. Let's get another data set, which is probably an HR analysis data set. Here you can see the same transformation window has opened. I will directly load the data into the Power BI interface. So the data has been added, you can see in this panel here. So there are plenty of columns, and I would just pick the employee ID and department. And the satisfaction level. I would remove the employee ID, and we can see that we have the sum of satisfaction level in different departments, considering all the employees as an average. And now I can make a visual here. So that is a clustered chart. We can compare the level of job satisfaction in different departments of the same company. Now I would like to have a legend here. I will take the department as the legend. So you can see now the legend has been created and the colors are changed. Now we can compare the satisfaction levels of different employees. Let's make another visual, and I want to see the hourly rate in different departments. And again, I want to add department as a legend. So you can see that the hourly rate and satisfaction level are quite similar in both the departments. That makes us realize that satisfaction level is directly proportional to the hourly rate that is being provided in different departments of the same company. Now, if we want to make it a little dashboard, what we can do, we can select a visual come here, we can format the visualizations if you want. You can add title to it, right? And we can change the title, job satisfaction by department. You can change the font here. I like Times New Roman in most of the professional stuff. And that's done. You can add a subtitle. Then you can change the spacing options. Visually, you can change the legend, the grid lines. You can add the grid lines. You can add the data labels. What it does is that it adds the actual data label, which is 2632 here, to all the bars of this chart. I want to change the format of this visual, but if you want to get a comparison, that's fine. Now we want to change it by a tree chart, and you can see that the hourly rate of the research and development department is the maximum here. So going back to that clustered chart. Alright, so we can change the data fields as well. Sum of hourly rate and sum of this hourly rate by department. So let's see how we can do that. We can format, we can take the general here, and we're done with the title. X-axis, the font is there, values, title, the layout, everything is available here, and you can change all that you want. So I wish to change the title of the text here, which is auto right now. So I want to say that on x-axis it needs to be department of XYZ company, and for instance on y-axis I want to change the title, and this sum is not what I like. So what I can see, I can add hourly rate here, and it will change the y-axis title. So in this way you can pretty much play with the colors, with the titles, the font, and all kinds of layout options in this panel that is available here. So this is how we develop a very minimal report with just two visuals here. We will be doing a much more detailed analysis of these options and functionalities available on Power BI. For now, thank you. See you in the next tutorial.